Y'all like that? I'm going to do a little Lee Williams up here.
This is Maurice Griffin, and you're listening to Guts with Nikki V.
I can be the richest woman on earth, but let me tell you, it's not better than you. That's not better than you. And I can have the finest things in life, but let me tell you, it's not better than you. It's not better than you. I can be sitting on top of the world, draped in diamonds and pearls, but that's not better. That's not better than you. Not better than you. I can even travel from place to place where everybody knows my face. That's not better. That's not better. That's not better than you. From under, Lord, bring me over. I wanna be nearer, closer to you. You are light and you are truth. There's nothing better, better than you. I can be the most prestigious person in the world. Let me tell you, that's not better than you. That's not better than you. And I can have houses, land, almost anything, but let me tell you, it's not better than you. I can be sitting on top of the world, sitting on top of the world. Diamonds and pearls. That's not better. That's not better than you. That's not better than you. I can even travel from place to place, where everybody knows my face. Knows my face. That's not better than you. If I'm under, Lord, bring me over. Bring me over. I wanna be nearer. I gotta be nearer. Closer to you. Close to you. You are light. You are light. And you are true. And you are true. There's nothing better. Nothing better. Better than you. If I'm under, Lord, bring me over. Bring me over. I wanna be nearer. I gotta be nearer. Closer to you. Close to you. You are light. You are light. And you are true. And you are true. There's nothing better. Nothing better than you. Better than you. There is nothing, nothing better. There is nothing, nothing better. There is nothing, nothing better. Better than you. There is nothing, nothing better. There is nothing, nothing better. There is nothing, nothing better. Better than you. If I'm under, Lord, bring me over. Bring me over. I wanna be nearer. I wanna be nearer. Closer to you. Close to you. You are light. You are light. And you are truth. You are truth. There's nothing better. Nothing better than you. Better than you. If I'm under, Lord, bring me over. Bring me over. I wanna be nearer. I wanna be nearer. Closer to you. Close to you. You are light. You are light. And you are true. And you are true. There's nothing better. Nothing better than you.
Yeah, there's nothing better than you. Yeah, nothing better than Jesus. I could be drapes and diamonds and pearls, but that's not better. Nah, that's not better. It's just what we try to think is better, but it isn't better. It's not better than God. It's not better than having a good relationship with Him. It's not better than proclaiming who He is. Now, I know somebody said, well, test me on this. Let me see. Let me have the draped in diamonds and pearls and make a decision for myself. If you're saying that, then you really don't have the mind of Christ anyway. You wouldn't understand the better. Because it's not about the things of this world and the possessions that we possess, the things that we can grab a hold to. What it's really about is the love, the joy, the peace, the long-suffering. In other words, it's about the fruit of the Holy Spirit abiding and residing in your life, manifesting in such a way that people see it demonstratively. Not searching with a microscope trying to find it. Not looking with a magnifying glass trying to find it. but just peeping and seeing it happen, seeing it manifest, seeing it shine forth as the noonday, if you will. Kind of obvious that here we are and here it is, and my goodness, what are we going to do now? Well, this week we're talking about proclaiming Christ. That's where we are, and that's what we're discussing. But before we get into that, I do want to go into a little news you can use, something I found interesting. Maybe you will as well. I was hoping that this would actually be over by now, but unfortunately it is not. Oh, but I'm not going to talk about the fiscal cliff, which I do need to talk about at some point, but hopefully by later on we'll get there. By the way, Happy New Year. And but I do want to talk about this because this is kind of interesting. Another dynamic of the whole lesbian DOMA marriage thingy, and even sperm donors and all the different things that could be a problem that we've talked about in the church, but yet have not been able to exercise our authority in the earth realm to create the proper moral compass that people would kind of just go, maybe I shouldn't do this. But anyway, here we are. Kansas, which is the heart of the country, probably kind of Bible Belt. But anyway, Kansas demands that sperm donor pay child support. Now, isn't that something? Dude donated his sperm and now he's got to pay child support. Well, let me tell you how the story goes. A Kansas man who donated sperm to a lesbian couple 3 years ago is fighting the state's demand that he pay child support. The two women raising the 3-year-old girl say they support the man who responded to an ad they posted on the Craigslist website in 2009, which, quite frankly, I can understand why they would support him. After all, he should not be responsible, even though he did donate the sperm, for the child rearing or for, paying child support. This was something that they wanted, and they should be able to pay it or pay for the child. The issue of child support arose when the two women broke up. Oh, look, divorce in a homosexual relationship, or separation, because it's not really a divorce because they weren't really married, at least not then for that time, and not in Kansas. There's other places where that would apply. But the couple applied to state services. Workers at the Kansas Department for Children and Families demanded the donor's name and then filed a child support claim against him, the newspaper said. So when they broke up, the one who kept the child, or as they go back and forth, they are not, as a broken up couple, sufficient to be able to maintain the house. And so they need public assistance. And of course, public assistance says, well, who's the daddy? Angela Bauer, one of the mothers, told the Capital Journal that she and her former partner, Jennifer Schreiner, support the donor, William Marotta, in whatever action he wants to go forward with to fight the state's demand. This was a wonderful opportunity with a guy with an admirable, giving character who wanted nothing more than to help us to have a child. The newspaper quoted Bauer, 40, as saying, I feel like the state of Kansas has made a mess out of the situation. When Bauer and Schreiner, the 34-year-old birth mother, reached a deal with Marotta that did not include any payment for his sperm donation, he signed a written agreement that relinquished all parental rights and held him harmless for any child support payments demanded of him by any person or entity, public or private, regardless of the circumstances or said demand, according to the contract that he had with the ladies. The state argued in court papers that because the insemination wasn't performed by a licensed physician, the contract was null and void. When the two women split in 2010, they had 8 children, including some they adopted, whom they now co-parent. Marotta, a 43-year-old mechanic, was dragged into the dispute when the couple filed for state assistance. The state insisted that they reveal the donor's identity, saying that if they refused to do so, their daughter would no longer be eligible for health care coverage. The women reluctantly complied, the Capital Journal reported. The girl's birth certificate does not include her biological father's name, and the Capital Journal said that he had no contact with the girl other than receiving occasional email updates from Bauer. Both women adopted the girl, although they had to file for adoption separately because the state does not recognize same-sex unions. The newspaper said this means that the state also cannot collect child support from same-sex parents. More and more gays and lesbians are adopting and reproducing, and this to me is a step backward, said Bauer, who formerly supported the family financially but is no longer able to work due to a serious illness. I think a lot of progressive movement is happening currently in the world as far as gays and lesbians go. Maybe this is Kansas's stand against some of that. The Capital Journal could not reach Murata for comment, and the Kansas Department for Children and Families declined to discuss the case, citing privacy laws. This isn't the first time states have demanded child support from sperm donors, but in most of those cases, the sperm donor was known to the birth family, usually a man who was friendly with a lesbian couple and who agreed to help them out. Court rulings vary. Sperm donors who donate through a sperm bank are typically protected by state parenting shield laws, but in less straightforward cases, courts have differed on whether the men should pay up. The Massachusetts court ruled this year that a Nigerian immigrant had to pay child support for twins conceived through artificial insemination a year after he and his wife had separated. And in Vermont, a man who donated sperm to a female friend was required to pay child support because he maintained a relationship with the children. Part of the decision came down because he was so involved with them. It wasn't that he went to the sperm bank and that was it. They called him Papa. In New York, a married doctor agreed to donate sperm to a young resident and her partner in the late 1980s, only to be asked 18 years later for child support. His undoing was sending money and cards to the child, which he would sign Dad or Daddy. The biological father's name was also on the birth certificate. But in Washington State, the Court of Appeals ruled in 2004 that a donor can't be required to pay child support unless he and the mother have signed an explicit contract. And in Texas, an appeals court ruled in favor of a former policeman who donated sperm to a woman he had been formerly connected with. He had paid thousands of dollars in child support for twins until the court ruled in his favor. When the lawsuit was filed in 2008, the man told McClatchy, "I was totally blown away. I was already married and had moved on with my life." Kind of embarrassing. For whatever reason, he donated the sperm. I guess he probably would never do it again and would probably not recommend it to any of his friends. But we do thank God for each and every one of you tuning into the broadcast. You are tuned into Guts, the Gospel United Saved, bringing you the information needed for transformation within South Florida and all over the world. A variety talk show with a Christian point of view, hoping that you will have the guts to tell somebody about Jesus. I'm your host, Nikki V. And just some things to make you think. A little news you can use, something I found interesting. Maybe you will as well. Think about it. These are the kind of things that are happening in our society, in our world. And what are we as Christians going to do about it?
Our children are exposed to violence every day, in their neighborhoods, in their schools, even in their own homes. Exposure to violence can have a devastating and lifelong impact. Through community action and leadership at the national level, we're identifying the children who need our help. I'm Attorney General Eric Holder, and I'm asking those of you who have a role in a child's life to take action. Through your attention and early intervention, we can help children in need to heal, to thrive. Together, we can change their lives and their futures.
Visit justice.gov to join the Justice Department in defending childhood.
Gospel, united to save. It's the Guts Gospel Show, a variety